Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions on BetCraft. Another very beautiful Tuesday morning, and once again, we are back with our predictions as usual. Today, we'll not be showing our face due to some challenges, but we'll still be putting out our games. All right. Yesterday, we had a very good outing yesterday, so we won as usual 3 out of 4 games that we presented here yesterday. We also won the ones on our VIP. I was urge you to join our VIP so that you don't miss out on both ends. All right, you either win here or there. All right, but with that said, it's a very good day yesterday, and today we are hopeful that we're going to have a very good outing. And today is a Champions League day, and we start with the very first Champions League match for today. It is Chelsea coming up against Benfica. All right, we look at stats for these two sides. Chelsea having won just 2 matches and draw. They've lost 3 games in the last 6 matches. Benfica also have not been very well, but they've won 3 games and 2 draws. Losing once in the last recent games that they had. All right, when you look at how the two sides fared from home and away basis, you can see that Chelsea have actually been able to achieve a lot. They've actually won 7 matches and a draw. They've lost 2 games in the last 6 matches, in the last 10 home games rather, from home. And last 10 matches they had from home saw them winning 7 and drawing 1 and also losing 2. All right, and Benfica on the other hand have won 8 games in the last 10 away games, and they've also had 2 draws. They actually played local teams in Portugal. So they've not really tested a very big team. All right, so when we put all this together, we know that Chelsea, we you know using this opportunity to prove themselves. Haven't seen Benfica also losing to their first Champions League match to Karabakh. That was a very surprising one. So we are going with the home side Chelsea to beat Benfica in this very one. So home winner outrightly. That's what we expect from this very encounter. Okay. All right. All right, the next game for today is in the Champions League once again. We'll have Olympique Marseille of France who will be facing Ajax Amsterdam. All right, we see Olympique Marseille faring very well in recent games, having won 4 matches out of 6 and also losing 2. And Ajax, on the other hand, with side have won 3 matches. They've also had 2 draws as well as 1 loss in the last 6 matches. Okay, and when you look at how these two sides performed from home and away basis, Olympic Marseille is a side who have actually won, 8 games and 2 draws in the last 10 home matches. They've not lost a single game in the last 10 home games. And we saw them beating the likes of Paris Saint-Germain, Aston Villa, you know, from home. That's the side that does so very well. The very strong side when played from home. We saw how they played out against Madrid, even though they lost that match against Madrid. They were actually quite, the best team on the pitch on that very day. They were very good. So, and we also saw the west side, the Ajax Amsterdam, you know, not faring very well in recent times. The last 10 away games they had, I've only seen them winning 3 matches, but I've had lots of draws. They've had 4 draws as well as 3 losses. The last away game they had was against PSV, and they had a 2-2 draw on that very occasion. The last 3 games I had from away resulted to a draw. But I'm seeing Paris Saint-Germain. I'm seeing Olympique Marseille actually having the upper hand in this very one. The last time they met was actually Olympique Marseille, who won. That was in 2023 by 4 goals to 3 against Ajax on that very occasion. When we put all the stats together, we are actually expecting the home side, Olympique Marseille, to win outrightly against Ajax Amsterdam. So it is a home side to win. That's over for that very game. All right, the next game for today is also the Champions League match between Bodo Glimt of Norway, who will be facing Tottenham Hotspurs of England. And we start looking at the stats for these two sides. You can see that the Bodo Glimt, the home side, have had 3 victories and 2 draws, 1 loss in the last 6 matches. Okay, the same goes for their away side, Tottenham, who also had 3 wins and 2 draws and also 1 loss in the last 6 games. So, all right, and when you look at how the sides fare from home and away basis, you can see the home side, Bodo Glimt, out of the last 10 home matches that they had so far, they only had, they actually had 7 wins and a draw, and also losing 2 matches. Okay, those were all domestic games, played from against home side, against domestic sides from No way. All right, and that way side, Tottenham Hotspur, on the other hand, have actually been able to achieve 5 victories and 3 draws. They've also lost 2 matches in the last 10 away match that they had. We saw them in the last away game that they had, which was against Brighton. We saw them playing out a 2-2 draw against Brighton and Hove, and prior to that, we saw them beating the likes of Man City and West Ham United. All right, and we looked at how these two sides fared the last time they met, which was in May this very year in the UEFA Europa League. And we saw Tottenham beating Bodo Glimt home and away on that very occasion, beating them by 3 goals to 1 at home, and also winning them by 2 goals to 0 from away. That shows superiority, and it all boils down to quality in this very one. And I know that Tottenham Hotspur actually possess a good quality team capable of winning from anywhere against a Bodo Glimt. And you see the odd is quite very, very good, huge. Yeah, it's actually 2 point something odd, for Tottenham to win. So we still go with our side to take the day in this one. It is our side to win outrightly. That's all ready for that very game. And lastly, we have a game in the Russian Cup where we have Rubin Kazan and who'll be facing Zenit St. Petersburg. All right, that's our last game for today. But we'll be looking at the stats for these two sides. We could see Rubin Kazan having 1 win and 3 draws out of the last 6 matches. We also saw them losing 2 matches in the last 6 games. And for Zenit St. Petersburg, the West side, it is 5 wins and a draw out of the last 6 matches that they had so far. And from home and away perspective, you could say Robin Kazan doing fairly well from home, having won several matches. They've won 7 games and 2 draws in the last 10 home games. They've lost just one, which was against Sparta Moscow on that very occasion. And we saw Zenit St. Petersburg, the West side, having won 5 matches and 3 draws in the last 10 away games. And they've lost 2 games out of the last 10 away matches that they had. Okay. And the last away game they had was against Krasnodar, and we saw them on the 21st of September, beating Krasnodar from away by 2 goals to 0. That's very good statement. Showing that they are sides capable of achieving results from away. And on head-to-head basis, you can see the last time both teams met it was Zenit who actually won against Robin Kazan from home, by 3 goals to 0. Prior to that, we saw them in July playing out a 2-2 draw on that very occasion. But we know that Zenit have actually dominated the stats between these two sides, in the recent meetings. All right, in the last 6 games between these two sides, it has been Zenit St. Petersburg who have always won, and they've actually won on 5 occasions out of 6, and the other one being a draw. That tells you a lot. With the recent result, seeing Zenit beating this side 3-0 in the recent past. We are going with Zenit St. Petersburg, their way side, to win in this very encounter. It is a we win. That's all verdict for that very game. And that will conclude it for us today on Betcraft. We wish you the very best of luck. Hopefully your ticket goes good. Remember, the other games that we have will be on the VIP special group. Don't endeavor to join. You can always find the link in the description of this very video. But until then, tomorrow is another day. Until that time, keep winning.